What's good, y'all? Welcome to Afternoons with
What's
Joe
wrong
Mama.
with File? What is
I guess
wrong
that's
with
the screwed
File?
and chopped up edition. Considering, yo, this is gonna be the second intro, so forgive me if I seem too excited. Welcome to Afternoons with me. I am JomaMa. Paul Brumbaugh, my engineer. His intern Colin, who is now from California, but he was from Canada a few weeks ago when he was my guest. I have two big owls for y'all today. Two whole big owls. I'm gonna start with introducing Big Al from Brentwood because, sir, I apologize. You're gonna be the second part of the show, but you just wait.
No problem, Joe Mama.
Thank you so much. And for the next, because we started on a mark, Big Al from San Antonio is visiting you're doing your tour.
Yeah, not from San Antonio. I'm from the Bay Area,
that's right.
but I live in San Antonio now, so you can introduce me as Big Al, who lives in San Antonio.
Yes.
I'm never going to give up my California roots, but to the chagrin of some people. But I love it. I miss it. This is the first time I've been back in years. It's been several years since I've been here, and I appreciate you and Paul inviting me here to your studios, here at the Ed Studios. I think this is my first time in here, and it's beautiful.
You know, actually, okay, so this is a crazy story. Long time ago, I want to say a year and some months ago, I was at... Oh, shit. You've actually hosted for... I've seen you twice. But this was at the Elbow Room. And we took a great picture at the stage. And I tagged everybody. But,
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
But when I asked you to tag yourself, you accidentally tagged Big Al Art.
I accidentally?
You, because I gave my phone to you. And I was like, I don't get it. How did I do this wrong? Because I gave you my phone. But it's okay. I get it. We were all comedians on one stage, hella excited because I think one person dropped his pants and everything.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
That would confuse my profile name as well. But I eventually looked at it and I was like, it was Big Al Art that you tagged. Instead.
Okay.
So that's how I met Big Al Art.
Because you accidentally, because something happened and we tagged the wrong person.
Yes.
And so you were tagging him when you should have been tagging me.
Yes.
And so now, because you tagged him, now you know him, and you decided, hey, why not put two Big Al's on the same show so that all the listeners will be confused? I get it. I understand. Is that basically what's going on here? So that while I'm speaking, they don't know whether it's the other guy or this guy. So
the whole time it's been a setup. But so it's not happenstance at all. But Big Al, when you were showing up on the feed for Bacon, showing that you were going to be in the area.
You know, that sounds funny when you say feed and bacon all in the same sentence.
Yeah. I know, I'm hungry
Because
too.
I know exactly what you're talking about, but if I'm a listening audience member,
that.
it sounds like we're having a bacon feed and like the old crab feeds that they used to raise money at the churches.
I went to Catholic school too. Okay, so Big Al was like, since he was from the Bay Area, I was just like, I ended up being friends with you anyway. And next thing you know, at the Slate Bar one open mic, I come across Big Al, who lives in Brentwood. Because I can't just keep on saying Big Al Art.
So that's Big Al Lopez. I'm Big Al Gonzalez. So that's the easiest way to differentiate
we're
us.
bringing in last names into
By
it?
last name, imagine that.
No.
Big Al Lopez, Big
You know
Al
what?
Gonzalez.
Can I tell you, I have something against last
Also, I'm
names?
actually bigger than him. So I think technically I
You're
win
taller than me.
the name.
Hold on. So really, hold on. So it's Big Al Gonzalez and Bigger Al. Wait, or is it the other way? Hold on.
We're going to do this the old-fashioned way. Who's older?
I'm taller. He's
Well,
larger.
I'm older, probably.
I'll let you have that one, even if it's not true.
But you remember how when we were younger, the range that we would gauge it to is how old are you? I'm older than you. And I guess, okay, so Bigger Al from San Antonio. I mean, not from the Bay Area, who lives in San Antonio, which I love the fact that you get to keep it. You're there. Tell me what's going on. What are you hitting up on the road from San Antonio into the West Coast?
So I've been on the Pacific. I've been on the West Side, the Pacific side, for the last 2 weeks. Last week I was in Spokane, Seattle, and Portland. I was touring with Steve Trevino, and we did 3 theaters out there. We did a casino in Spokane, and we did 2 theaters, one in Portland, one in Seattle. And so he sold all those out. If you haven't seen Steve Trevino, go check him out. He's got a brand new special on Netflix. And I've been lucky enough to be working with him off and on throughout the years. I met him here in San Francisco at Cobb's Comedy Club when I used to be a door guy there.
Damn.
And the manager at the time, who now works for Icon Concerts, his name is Mike Bernal. He goes, hey, we got Steve Trevino coming in this weekend as a replacement. You ever seen him? I said, no. He says, you're going to love him. And he brought him in, and I did. I fell in love with his comedy, and he was so amazing on stage. And just by chance throughout the years, we just kept working with each other off and on by happenstance, and sometimes by, he actually asked me to come and work with him. And so now I'm one of his regulars that he rotates in throughout the year. And so I'm going to be with him again on the 24th and 25th of May. We're going to be doing Minneapolis and North Dakota. But currently, I'm here in the Bay Area for myself. I've been headlining a lot of shows. I got into town last Wednesday. I headlined in Pleasanton, and then I headlined in Sunnyvale, and then just this last Saturday was in Ileton. How do you pronounce it? Ileton? Ileton. So I was in Ileton, and I did a show with an old friend of mine, Stu Kosh. I believe that, and he was running that show. It was the funnest show I've had so far. I like the one in Pleasanton. The one in Sunnyvale was a little weird. It was mostly tech people, and I haven't performed in tech people in a long time. You travel around the country, you forget what tech people are like.
Mm-hmm.
And so anyways, but the people in Ileton, they were amazing, and I loved it. And then I got a few shows coming up this week. So I have one on Thursday in Niles, California, and that one is a veterans show. So I'm doing a veterans show in Niles, California, which is it's a small town in Fremont. And then I'm also doing a show on Friday on the 18th, and that's going to be in Hayward at a biker club.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's going to be for a bunch of bikers. And then Saturday, I think I'm supposed to be here in San Francisco. I forget where. But then Sunday, I'm doing 2 shows in San Jose. And one of them with an old mentor of mine, Tony Sparks, who used to run the Brainwash Cafe out here in San Francisco. And he's a big reason why I became a stand-up comic here in this city, and he's the reason why I maintained a presence in this city. I mean, he was kind of our mentor growing up. Paul, who's from back then, he remembers. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, what we call him, the Godfather stand-up comedy here in San Francisco.
He was actually my first guest for my first podcast. Him and my bestie Ashley Tomagen, and when I first met Tony Sparks, he was just awesome from the get-go because I didn't even know him. He became a mentor all of a sudden, and every time I saw him, he always had good feedback. And I'm always growing, I'm always learning. Sometimes I regress, but like the best thing is that when other comedians give good feedback, like, not to hurt you, but to help you. Yeah. So I think that's great. That's freaking awesome that you're making the most of your tour, because as a comic, isn't it hard to go around not do comedy?
Yeah. So I was out here to, I was out here to do just to visit family because my mom had a surgery she was going through. She was supposed to have it this week, and unfortunately they changed the schedule. But because I already bought my tickets and booked all the shows, I couldn't stop. Mm-hmm. So I just kept everything as is, and then just kept all my shows. I even added one, and it just worked out, and I get to headline back in my town, which is nice because I haven't headlined out here in years. So it's nice. It's nice to be back in San Francisco and the Bay Area. Things are greener. Things
weedier, maybe.
Yeah, it's a little greener out here, and things have changed. Demographics have changed. Where my family's from. We used to be the minority, and we still are the minority because the demographics have changed in a different way. Whereas people used to look more like Paul, now they look more like us. now you're the minority, Paul. How does it feel?
How does it feel to be a marginalized individual? First time in my life. There you go.
So tell me this much: what what years did you live out in the South of Market? You lived in Soma.
Yeah, I used to live right down the street on 7th and between 7th and Harrison and Folsom, right in that little area.
What era? Tell me.
I moved out here in 2004, and that's when I started doing comedy.
No way.
And then I think I was here till 2010, maybe.
That's why you
So
looked
from
at me crazy.
2004 till 2010. So I started off just coming into the open mic scene around 2004. I moved in with a gentleman by the name of Justin Scales, aka the Scalesman. He's been notoriously out here.
So you actually started comedy in San Francisco.
Yes.
At the Brainwash. I know you said that, but like sometimes I got to hear things twice to like
Well,
register.
So I started out doing improv comedy
Ooh.
out here in the Bay Area. So I started off with this group out of San Francisco. It was called the Oakland Improv Playhouse or something like that. I can't remember. The Oakland Improv something. Anyways, we were out of Oakland, and then eventually we moved over to the Shelton Theater, and then does that still exist? The Shelton Theater?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, it's up off of California, I want to say, somewhere over there.
Is-
So we moved over there, and then we changed our name to Big City Improv.
Ooh.
Big City Improv. We changed our name to Big City Improv, and we won Best of the Bay, I think, in 2002. And after a while, I was like, you know what? I think I've had my fill of improv, and then I jumped over to stand-up because I met Tony Sparks. He used to host some of our shows and help run tech, and they introduced me to him, and I got to meet Tony, and I was like, oh, this guy's cool. I like him. And he goes, hey, if you want to do stand-up, come out to the Brainwash. And I did. And he gave me such a big, warm welcome because that's what he does for everybody.
for
Like
everybody,
the
yeah.
minute it's your first time at his space, he gives you the biggest, warmest welcome. And I just remember that feeling and just everybody being there to embrace you as a new performer. And I was like, I love this.
Yeah,
And I just kept going, and eventually I transitioned from improv to stand up. And I have not stopped. I'm still doing it. This is my third city. I'm in my third city. I went from San Francisco to LA to San Antonio, and now I've traveled all around the world doing this wonderful art form that we call stand-up. And it's been a wonderful journey, and I'm glad to be back here in San Francisco for this week.
And San Antonio has a great scene, even though like I know Austin, being close to Austin is a plus, but having started in San Antonio, I want to say my first open mic was at LOL Club, and I didn't even know that the open mics were only in the outside front. I didn't know there was a back part. I didn't even know there was a back part. Like there's a bigger stage than this, but starting on that small stage, it was Chris Goulion that introduced me, and he was very encouraging because he knew that it was my first time, and from that point on, I just never gave it up. I mean, like I lost my marriage, but I didn't lose comedy.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I think that's something you and I have in common. We both lost our spouses in San Antonio.
Dude,
Right? You lose your heart in San Francisco, you lose your spouse in San Antonio.
You won the city back.
But I got the city in the divorce, so.
Hell yeah, I lost the city in the divorce. I think I even lost like a lot of things, but
But yeah, I got to meet you in San Antonio, and you were very nice, and we exchanged numbers. And when you saw that I was in the city, you invited me here to your podcast, and I get to meet another Big Al.
Yes. Okay, so I would have invited you, but Big Al was like, we should be on the same podcast. And I was like, that's such a great idea. And
Which Big Al said that? I know it wasn't me.
I said that.
the not Big Al, the not so bigger Al.
Medium Al.
The battle of the Big
Oh.
Well, I was like posting on the internet that I have two Als. I would have known that you both were Big Als. I would have been like, I have two Big Als. Oh my gosh. It's an extreme podcast.
Too big, too Al.
Too confusing. My wife's gonna totally understand this.
What I love the most, Big Al from who lives in San Antonio, is that you're gonna actually have this on your post or whatever, and then like I get to touch back to San Antonio. Like, oh my gosh, I would love to be back in San Antonio.
Well, you always have a place to come out to. So if you ever decide to come out to Texas again, I run some shows out there, and so you're always welcome to perform.
Thank you.
So just let me know when you're in town, and we'll take care of that. So I run some shows at a distillery called the Artisan Craft Bar downtown.
Okay.
and it's a cute little venue, about 60-seater, and we've been doing shows there for a few years since the pandemic, and I'm still running it, and
That's hard.
I got a lot of the community. Originally I was doing it with a couple comics, and then I ended up running it by myself, and now I'm giving it back to the community. So I've been letting other comics come in and just run their own shows, and so kind of using it as a what am I trying to say? As a like almost like a classroom. Yeah, like a platform where newer comics and comics who don't have experience producing shows can come in and learn how to produce a show.
I wanted to ask you, what came first, acting or acting came after?
What do you
comedy?
mean?
Because you're an actor, yes?
I started off as an actor, right?
Okay, so you've been an actor this whole
So I've been doing
time.
theater since high school.
So comedy improv was the new thing.
So I did acting first in theater, and then I transitioned into improv, and then I transitioned to stand-up comedy.
You're classically trained.
I don't know about classically, but
like almost.
I took a class, but I don't know about classically.
But I think that's exciting to be so textured in not just comedy but entertainment. You mentioned that you had been a part of pilots.
Yeah, so when I lived in Los Angeles, you know, part of the machine of living in Los Angeles is that eventually you get into productions and you become either somebody who's a PA, which is a production assistant. So either you end up working behind the scenes or in front of the scenes or adjacent to the scene. So I've done a little bit of it all. I've been a production assistant. I've been brought in to help with writing. I've been in front of the camera as an actor. And so I've done all of it, and it's been really fun.
That's the
so
only way, right?
Before I moved to San Antonio, I was working on 2 pilots. One of them was a prank show produced by the same people that did the Jamie Kennedy Experience. It was called Prank My Parents.
Oh, wow.
And I was one of the principals. I was actually one of the principal prankers. And then pranksters. And then the other thing I was doing was it was a series that was being directed and produced by James Franco.
Oh, wow.
And it was
he's really like he thinks outside the box.
Yeah, and so the thing he was doing was this it was an all Latino cast. And it was in Spanish and English, and so I was one of the people in it, and unfortunately it didn't get picked up, and unfortunately the Prank My Parents didn't get picked up, but I got to work on both of them, and it was really fun. I think the Prank My Parents one was too edgy.
For that time.
It was way too edgy for that time.
Wow, can you imagine if they resurfaced that stuff now? It's probably like mild you, because I'm assuming that was like a different time, like back then.
Oh yeah, like there was, so when we were doing it, so the first one we did was we pranked this one guy who was he was a hockey player, and the prank was his kid asked if they can sell some stuff, you know, at a yard sale to help raise money for her Girl Scout troop. So when he comes home, the prank is everything from his house is outside on the lawn. So he comes home, he sees his couches, he sees his clothes.
Yeah, that's more than a prank.
He sees everything. He flips out. He sees all of us out there, and he's like, what the heck is going on? The trigger is supposed to be me coming from the top stairs of his house towards the backyard, and I'm holding this really expensive coat of his that's worth like a couple grand.
Okay.
And it's like a designer coat.
coat.
So I'm walking down, I'm like, hey babe, look what I got. It's a designer coat. I got it for $20.
Oh my god.
And he flips out, and he runs up to meet me as I'm coming down the stairs, and he yanks it out of my hands. And that's when I realized how strong he was. Like, I knew he was a hockey player, but I was a little bit taller than him. So I didn't know how strong he was, but when he grabbed that, I felt the strength, and I was like, okay, this could go sideways. And so all of a sudden he's getting really angry. He's telling everybody to leave his stuff alone. Then he gets to his kid, and his kid's like, but you said I can, and he starts yelling at her, and it starts to get a little edgy, a little too real. And so that's when they're like, all right, we have to end this. They go, Al, why don't you go ahead and say, hey, you're on Prank My Parents. And so they picked me because I was the biggest guy. So they got me to get in front of them, and I go, hey, you're on Prank My Parents. And we thought like he would chill out and he would start laughing. No, that made him angrier because knowing that they used him for a TV show, then now he was like, how much are they paying you? When is this going to air? What's the money? And
he became litigious.
oh yeah,
almost.
he became very litigious, and so
Wow.
I literally used all my people skills from stand up,
You're
all my
still
people
on-
skills from improv, and I did everything I could to calm him down. And I finally did, and we managed it. We got him back down to earth, and we filmed it all. But it was because of those edginesses, that kind of edgy pranking, that I think it was too much. And
no, because there are people who have.
like now, they would totally play that,
Oh,
Yeah, now.
Yeah.
but not then.
Because mental health issues are more to the surface now.
Well, speaking of mental health, we did another prank where this lady, one of the parents, was deathly afraid of clowns, and part of the prank was
That's fucked up.
we put her in a room full of clowns,
That's fucked up.
and then we put clown makeup on her,
oh my gosh, that's even worse.
and the whole time she's crying, but she's trying to hold it together for her daughter because it's for a fundraiser,
Oh.
and the lady's crying, and you see the clown makeup just
Smearing
smearing
off.
all over her face, but she held
Oh.
it together just for her daughter. And we felt bad, and I was like, I don't feel good about this.
No, it doesn't.
This
feel
isn't
awesome
fun
at
anymore.
all.
Yeah, so a couple of the pranks were a little.
Wait, who broke the news to that one?
I didn't do that
No?
one. Yeah, I felt too bad. I was like, I can't tell this lady it was
Did
a
she
prank.
cry or did
She was
laugh?
crying, but
She-
then she started laughing
Afterwards. Okay.
So hopefully that experience got her over her fear
I
of
know,
clowns.
right? That's how she got over her.
Oh yeah.
That's really how they treat PTSD nowadays.
Yeah, so hopefully it helped, but yeah. I think when you look back at it, I understand why they didn't go with the show. I think they're like, yeah, this is too much.
Look,
So,
I'm already fragile. And
but yeah, that didn't work out, and I ended up moving to San Antonio with my wife at the time, and eventually we made it work for several years out there, and then she got a job offer in Memphis, and I was like, you know what, I'm good. I like San Antonio. I don't want to move anymore, and it was COVID had just happened, and
COVID was hard.
COVID changed everybody's life.
So experiencing COVID in San Antonio was one thing for me and the family that I experienced it with, my family. But for instance, like I have at that time as a family of 6, 4 kids, me and my husband, 6 of us in the house, trapped with each other.
That's a lot of people.
Right, but we also have 5 bedrooms. That doesn't make it any better because we all end up having to feel each other's energy in that one house.
Yeah, well, like for me, I was lucky. I experienced COVID in a really nice neighborhood. So your money goes way farther in Texas,
Yeah,
I'll tell you
and
that.
so
So when I was living, so here's the thing, like when I moved from California to Texas, I was broke. Like I was broke from living in LA. So I came to Texas with $0, and within 3 years, I made enough money to buy a house. And I bought my first house, and then we sold that house, bought another house. I ended up with a 2-story, 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath on a 1/4-acre lot.
Damn.
And that's where I spent COVID. And it was perfect
That sounds
because we
peaceful.
had a huge backyard
Do you
with a
have kids?
patio. I have no kids.
Oh my God,
We had a
peaceful.
2-story.
peaceful.
That's why it was peaceful. It was just me and my wife and our 2 dogs and our cat, and we had a good time.
Oh, so she was with you still?
Oh yeah, we lasted through COVID.
Oh wow.
It was after COVID.
COVID did that to a lot of things.
Yeah,
It's
well-
very revealing.
Well, it was just I was on the road a lot, so I
Uh-huh.
traveled on the road with Steve Trevino during COVID, so I was gone a lot, and so it caused a little distance between us, and again, it just the distance, and then her wanting to move over to Memphis, and once you get to a certain age in your life, you want to literally sit down at some point.
Yeah.
And I've moved so many times over my lifetime. I was done.
That's where you settled.
I just said, you know what? I don't want to move anymore. I'm done. I'm staying here in San Antonio. And I did. I stood in San Antonio, and I've been there since we divorced in 2021. It's 2024.
Oh gosh, yeah.
So it's been 3 years, and I love it.
So it's funny that you mentioned the diameter.
Get it out, girl.
Yeah, the square root, the square feet of your home, because I think that specifies real estate owners or at least buyers. Because when you were saying the size of your home, I'm like, yeah, I had a 5-bedroom.
Oh, I'm bragging. I'm totally bragging. That was a big house. I
My
paid
turn.
$215 $215,000.
What year? And okay, so that was before COVID, like right on the cusp of COVID.
Yeah, we bought it like in 2019, and it was at, like I said, we bought it at 215, and
Oh yeah, what area were you in? San Antonio?
we were in the medical district.
Medical district. Okay, so
So it's a nice area. It's a very nice area up
It's actually
there.
more city, I feel like, than suburban, but it's because there's just like more city aspects.
Well,
to
when
it.
we got
Well,
divorced, we
medical.
we made money.
Oh,
Like
okay.
within 2 years, we made money.
No, that's amazing. Okay, so my
So.
turn to brag because I had a 3,222 square foot home. Like I could only brag about it now because my name's still on it. I don't live in it, but we bought a home out in Cibolo, so it's rural.
Yeah.
And it is a great area to be, isolated in a home because really, even though you can't leave and be a part of society, we can still walk out into our backyard. That was hella huge because it was a 3-car garage.
Isn't it nice to have a big backyard?
Yeah, so it had a backyard that would fit an RV. We even had like a little way, like if we wanted to park an RV. Yes. We had a gazebo at one point, but then it got blown over. Only in Texas. But now that's just like my own bragging rights. That's the only thing.
But now you're back here.
Yeah, that's the only things I could say that I no longer own because I got divorced. But yeah, now I live in the South of Market area again where I grew up.
Goodness.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think I left home, joined the military in 1997.
And you were in the Air Force.
In the Air Force.
Right? I was in the Marine Corps.
I know you. Okay, so I was a cop in the Air Force. I was security forces in the Air Force. So a lot of people are like, oh, you were in the Air Force. Yes, I was in the Air Force, but I trained with the Army.
At least you weren't seamen.
Marines. I know, right? The Navy.
You think they'd come up with something better, with marketing, right? Call them like Aquaman or something like that.
You're hella funny because we were airmen.
Right.
Seamen. You guys were privates or soldiers?
We were Marines.
Oh, so sorry. Oh my God.
Yeah, we're all the same.
Hey,
the Marine Corps is the only branch where everybody's the same no matter what. We don't have any special uniform. Well, actually, technically, my unit was the only one to have a special uniform. We were the only ones that were able to modify it. And for some reason, in all their grand thought, they put a little red patch on the forehead and on our knees, on the side of our knees, just to let the enemy know, hey,
here,
shoot him here.
Right here, on the side of the knee.
So like,
This is where the laser.
so we're considered shore party. So what we do is we set up we're landing support. So basically, what we do is we set up all the supply centers. So everything that you need. So you
get it started.
Yeah, we get it all started. So we come in first. So when they say first in, first last out, we're literally first ones in, last ones out. Damn. Other than special forces. So when you're coming in and you got a red patch here and a red patch there, your life expectancy isn't that long.
You know what? What I learned about in the military was friendly fire.
Yes.
Friendly Fire is a motherfucking thing.
Which I'm on a tour that's called the Friendly Fire Comedy Tour.
Oh, that's awesome.
And we're actually going to be in Killeen, Texas on June 1st. It's myself and Chris Grullon is actually going to be on it. And so it's
he's an Air Force vet.
Drew Hernandez, who's the one who started it. And we're going to be out there in Killeen. We did 2 shows last year, and we sold out both of them, like 350, 400 each. And we're coming back on June 1st, and then we're doing a San Antonio leg at the Upstage Comedy Club on June 7th through June 9th. So for anybody that's military, it's not just one branch, it's everybody. So we all represent all the different branches. We've been touring it for over a year. I've done a good chunk of them, but I get to come back after the last few shows have just been the guy Drew Hernandez, who has a website called A Combat Veteran. And so he does a bunch of videos that have to do with being a combat veteran. And he's got over 1 million followers. And those followers are just fervent. Is that the word? Fervent fans?
Fervent, yeah.
Yes, fervent fan. They come out.
With perseverance.
Yes, they come in and they love it. And if you've never performed in front of a military crowd, you don't know a more loving crowd than a military crowd.
Have you ever done a USO tour?
I have not, but I did do a tour in Japan. So we did Okinawa, we did Tokyo, and we did Korea. And I've never performed for a more thankful crowd than military people who are stuck overseas on a base.
Yeah.
So I almost did a USO show, but it was at SFO.
At SFO. Oh yeah, because they have a USO there.
Yeah, they have the little rooms there.
Yeah.
We're everywhere. everywhere. What I do miss about San Antonio is all the other veterans, because here, kind of like when I ask for a veteran discount, they're like,
Oh yeah, San Antonio is military city USA, so they're all about taking care of the veterans, which is another reason why I like it out there, because they respect the veterans and they treat the veterans right. There's several bases on there, and Sam Houston being one of the oldest bases, military bases in the country. And we're actually doing a military festival at the end of the year, so it's called Ava Fest, which is Austin Veteran Arts Festival.
nice.
And I'm running the comedy portion, so it's Ava Comedy Fest, and we're going to be doing that at the end of October, between the 30th and the 3rd in San Antonio, and then we're also going to be doing a few days over in Austin between the 7th and the 10th, I believe. So that's going to be a big thing. You can go to avafest.com. And you can find out all about the festival. So again, just plugging a few things.
No, do your plugs. Cause
Anyways, I gotta
down
get
to
going.
3 o'clock hard stop.
But again, yeah. So I got
you got your plug.
I got the Ava Fest, the Ava Comedy Fest coming up. That's going to be at the end of the year. If you're in the military or you support the military, support that. It's a great organization. Our charge is to raise money and awareness for mental health, veteran mental health, and PTSD.
God, we need it.
Again, I got some shows. I got one in Killeen for the military for the Friendly Fire Tour on June 1st. June 7th through 9th is also the Friendly Fire Tour with Drew Hernandez at the Upstage Comedy Club. And then I'm going to be with Steve Trevino on March 24th in Minnesota and March 25th in North Dakota. And again, I'm going to be here in the Bay Area. Thursday at the Veterans, I believe it's the American Legion in Niles, California. And then on Friday, I will be in Hayward at the Vikings Biker Club. And then on Sunday, I will be at 2 different venues in San Jose. Just go to my page at The Big Al Gonzalez on Instagram, and on Facebook, it's Big Al Gonzalez. So go to those. I have everything listed on there, all my dates. Go and check it out. I still have a few more shows here in the Bay Area, but that's about it. My website is www.bigalgonzalez.com, not to be confused with bygalgonzalez.com. It was always strange that I would always have like a large group of lesbians that would show up at my shows, and I was like, why? And they're like, oh, you're not who we thought you were.
But you're by Gal Gonzalez and he's by Gal Lopez.
So, anyways, that's it.
So
it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much.
I'm actually going to transition to his seat.
That's fine.
Yeah, and I was going to do that actually. But yeah,
do what you got to do.
Do your thing.
All right.
I was going to do that or
Nice to meet you.
Okay.
Nice to meet you too, Big Al. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. Oh my gosh.
Well, it's been a pleasure.
It was definitely a pleasure. Thank you so much for making
Thank
it
you.
out here. It was almost like seeing you for the 4th time in my life was awesome. Seeing you, I'm like, so he actually was the host at I want to say my second open mic when I decided my name was going to be JomaMa. Like when you sign up, it had all the names, and I was like, I'm gonna write JomaMa. And I think you were the first to ever introduce me as JomaMa. And let me give you oh yes, no, I want to get in the picture too. Let me.
Yeah, get in there,
Start talking.
Oh, all right.
His camera, by the way.
That was Big Al Gonzalez, the Big Al Gonzalez on Instagram. And JomaMa will be back with us in just a moment.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna transition to that seat. And then, yeah, that was awesome. Thank you guys.
Yeah, I actually look taller than you.
Now,
Nice to meet you, Big Al.
Empty chair too here right now.
All
All
right.
right, bye, be safe. Thank you so much.
Oh boy, here we go.
Can you switch cameras, Colin?
I did not.
Can you switch cameras, Colin?
Yes.
I mean, Colin. Yeah.
This wasn't his, was it?
Oh yeah. Wait, this is your jacket. Your jacket. This is your jacket.
Oh.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
All right.
Yes, now we can
Transition
talk
on over.
Big Al Lopez
No.
and not break my brain trying to say Big Al this, Big
Well,
Al that.
see, I usually say Big Al because
Yeah.
people will call me any name with an EZ at the end.
Oh yeah.
Even people I've known forever. I had a lady that her name is Rhoda Draws now. She used to be Rhoda Grossman, but she got it changed to Draws because she draws caricatures.
Oh wow.
She's been drawing caricatures for a long time. And she even one time knew me for about 15 or 20 years, and I get a call, and it's like, is this Big Al Rodriguez? No, this is Big Al Lopez.
So I'm so sorry. That way, this is what it looks like. Because normally that camera, that TV right there shows us. But
no problem.
There we go. He switched us out. So yay! I'm so glad that we can finally focus on Big Al art. See, that's why I'm like Big Al art. I kept on saying Big Al art because when people see me, sometimes they say my life is content.
Right. That's what I thought until I heard your podcast for the first time.
Like, oh, it's just all content. I'm recording every time. People are like, "Do you always have to take pictures?" Yes. Well, because one, I'm a mother. So as a mother, it was important for me to chronicleize the growth of my children.
Yeah.
You know, how else are you going to prove that you tried? I mean, you can talk about it, but pictures are so much better.
Yeah. Well, drawings are better too.
So do you have kids?
I do have kids. My daughter also draws caricatures.
Oh, wow. Did you teach her how to, or she learned that?
No, it was kind of through osmosis, just by watching me and following me. So I didn't actually sit down and say, Madeline, here's how you draw this.
That's amazing. How old is Madeline?
Madeline is 33.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are you a grandpa?
We had I will be.
Oh, she's pregnant?
Yes, she is.
Oh, congratulations.
She's due in September.
I'm so glad that you said that, because that is a very hard thing to bring up.
It'll be our first.
When people want kids but haven't had kids yet.
Yeah. It's
a hard thing to bring up, and I take that for granted because I've had so many.
Right.
I mean, like 3 by me and 1 by Step, but 4 kids that I claim as my own. And I take that for granted that a lot of people haven't had that opportunity.
Yeah.
But I think that's amazing. So do you know if it's going to be a granddaughter or grandson?
It's supposed to be a boy.
Oh, wow. Yeah, but you know how that doesn't, it's not true until it comes, you know, you just got to see the goods.
Right.
Literally, you have to.
Oh.
So what's the due date?
Sometime in September.
Just be prepared. That's all. The biggest thing about having a new baby in the picture is, like, you don't prepare for safety measures. Like, when they start moving around, they start pulling on things. So kids are just like, they're dangerous.
Yeah.
They're dangerous, and we're supposed to be their protectors.
Yeah, well, and having small children, you could really get into trouble. I have a permanent mark on my forehead because of a suction cup when my kids were young. And I took the toy off of the off of the what is it, the high chair.
Oh my god!
Stuck it to my forehead, and there's still a little mark there. Yeah, it's every day is Ash Wednesday for me.
No way! A suction cup. It was sucking on that real hard.
Exactly. Yeah.
But it's good. I mean, at least you're good.
That was harder than you think. I had cotton mouth.
I learned that I have a bulgy vein right here that throbs when I'm upset. I did not know about it because I didn't like taking pictures of myself. I like taking pictures of my kids.
Yeah.
But when I started to see that, I was like, oh my gosh. And my ex-husband was like, you've had that all this time.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's all about bangs. Like, now it's all about bangs. But yeah,
I have a son also.
Okay.
And he can draw, but he doesn't really. But I when he was in community college, I demonstrated at one of his art classes, and he's a pretty good artist too.
Is he older or younger than?
He's a few years older. Yeah.
Oh, so you had a boy first.
Yeah.
Do you think having boys are easier than girls? Because I have all.
I don't know. They're easier than cats. We have cats now. Madeline, once she moved out of the house, actually what happened was once she moved out of the house, went up to college in Portland, and she took a cat with her, I think, and then she got 2 more. And so she had 3 cats living in this little tiny apartment.
Do you ever draw the cats?
I have drawn the cats.
I can only imagine. So, like, when you're bored, do you draw? Is that like your passion? Even though
actually, no. Right now, I'm more passionate about trying to learn comedy.
Cultivate your comedy.
Although the last few weeks, I just went back to figure drawing. Which is, when someone stands up there naked in front of everybody.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
And then you try and capture them.
I didn't know that. I'd be like, I'm so immature.
No, I know. That's what some artists say. Like a landscape person was like, I could never sit in a room and draw a naked lady. I'd be too excited.
I'm just too immature. Yeah, I'd be too excited. Because I mean, like, I know blood flows from men to a part, but for women, blood flows to that part as well. It may not be a dick, but it may be lips. And I mean, that's still distracting.
Last week was interesting. We were at figure drawing, and they have like blinds on the window because the door has a window. But they're just taped up there, I learned last week, and the tape came loose at one point. For all and the model was just laughing about it because she's been around for a long time. But no, one time when we were in Pleasanton, I used to draw figures in Pleasanton. That was when my wife and I we were first married, and this same group, some of the same people. This was in the late '80s. So some of these same people are drawing figures now with me. In Livermore is where they do it at the place called the Bothwell Arts Center.
Oh, so just like there's a community.
Yeah, there's a community.
Oh, wow.
And they get anywhere between 10 to 15 or more people drawing every week, every Friday in Livermore.
Wow. I mean, okay, so
it's therapeutic for me now.
Well, I mean,
I left it for a while, and I just went back 2 weeks ago. First time I've drawn live nude models since the pandemic, actually.
I think it's a skill that not everybody is, kind of like singing or playing an instrument. Drawing is so specific to like being skilled. I had a portrait drawn of me, or a caricature, or I guess a drawing at a veterans event.
Yeah.
And when I saw it,
they did not capture your face.
My response was in my face. My face was like, I didn't know my eyes were that far apart. But then I also remembered, it's, the drawer is the drawer, and I know my eyes aren't that far apart.
Well, maybe they were that day. Sometimes it's the subject. I was drawing at a holiday party in December, and this lady, as soon as she sat down, she wanted it to be done. And she was not into sitting for the portrait, for the caricature.
Okay, so some people don't have the understanding that it takes patience to get drawn.
Exactly, yeah. Because
it's not like, bam, done.
And she looked probably like you did when I finished. She just looked at the drawing, but so I would have started it over again, which I do very rarely. But I knew that it was missing something.
But with caricatures, I believe the exaggeration gives it a fluff, like an area of like change. It doesn't have to look exactly right, as long as it looks good.
Right. Well, it is supposed to look like them, though.
Oh yeah, like
there's a difference.
But like cartoony, right?
Yeah. Well, nowadays there are people that they come up and they say, "Can you draw me ugly?"
Oh wow.
Because there's these artists, they don't draw ugly, they draw super exaggerated.
Oh,
over in
like
Hawaii
the big
right
nose
now.
And like
well,
the
it's
big eyes.
Like even like they'll put like a lady will be the pimple on a guy.
Oh wow, that is.
There's these extreme caricaturists that are out of Hawaii. They're called Caricature Party on Instagram, and they're on TikTok and Instagram, and they're just blowing up. And so they're bringing a lot of interest to caricature, but maybe in the wrong way, but they're getting very they're really having a go at it.
That's kind of how it goes, right? Like everything evolves. evolves into like a different form, but more importantly, there's different, like, I guess, ways of expressing drawings. Wow, I'm trying to picture a face coming, because that's so intricate. That's like almost not three-dimensional thinking. It's like beyond three-dimensional thinking. It's like, huh.
Yeah, see, I tend to draw mostly what I see. I don't exaggerate that much, unless they ask me to.
I like the caricature that you drew of me. I wish I had pulled it up so that I can show it, because it was a good caricature, and it was my favorite color.
Yeah.
You did it with with my blue, and I was like, I mean, intended or not, but it was at the Slate mic. So that was fun. Did they hire you to do it, or did you voluntarily do that?
At the competition they did this year and last year.
Yeah.
It's too bad that it's not going on anymore.
Oh no, I know.
But yeah, that was a lot of fun. I had met Manny at another defunct open mic, which was in Oakland at Hosa.
Oh yeah, I remember that. The
which
pizza.
was Seamus's, one of Seamus's venues.
I mean, like, you gotta understand, just like any business, if they can't support their own business, like that, it closes. Then there goes the money.
Yes, exactly.
And it's not even like a thing against comedy. It's just opportunity.
Well, that one was the actual business closed down. So.
Was it Hosa or Slate?
Hosa.
So Slate, I think, is transferring owners. I don't know how that's gonna work, but Slate was like one of the first few mics. So how do you?
But that was fun. So I went. The first time I went to Slate was actually to draw.
Oh wow!
It was for last year's competition, and so I drew the one week. I drew this next week. Then they had their final somewhere else. Then the next week I went back. So it was all in January of 23 that I went to Slate 3 times.
Oh. And
I went up the third time. And Tony Sparks was the host, which was nice. That was the first time I met Tony Sparks. Was at that Slate.
Oh, really? Yeah.
He was the host that night.
So Tony Sparks, he started hosting, I want to say, like 2 nights towards the end. And I thought that was amazing because it's normally ran by the Bahaha Barakada, a group of Filipino comedians.
Right.
And then when they weren't there, they got me and James
Uikawa?
Yeah,
that
one.
You say it?
I think so. That sounds right. And I'm like, that's so funny how they kind of like stuck to the Asian profile.
Yeah.
And then Tony Sparks hosted, and I was like, yeah, it's clearly different. I get it, because it was like hella Filipino, hella Asian.
Well, the night that I first went up there must have been 30 comics, I think.
Oh yeah,
it was a lot.
So
well, I'm sure in those last few weeks
towards
it
the
was
end,
probably a lot too.
So a comedy improv class from the city college, I think, was coming down, and I think it's amazing whenever a professor, a teacher, instructor refers them to a bar, and they all show up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was really good, and actually, Colin did a set at Slate, and you said that was discouraging.
Is this thing on right now? I threw my voice out too, so I did Slate on like the last day they were doing it, and kind of halfway through my set I just wasn't feeling my material, and just the momentum just kind of burned out, and I'm just like, these eyes are on me. It's all comedians too, so playing before comedians, Lord knows.
Exactly.
But you said after that you took a break, like, hold on, I gotta take a step back and
literally,
figure this
I'm just
out.
like, what the fuck am I doing to my life? Like, is this it?
And it's not even necessarily that you bombed. It just felt like I
just lost steam. Like my passion, I physically felt it leave my body. But I'm back at it though.
Here you are.
But
it was fun this year when I drew for the competition, because they didn't tell me that I was going to go up.
Oh yeah, that's right. They were like, hey. So last year you didn't go up.
No, well, last year I went up.
Oh yeah, that's
the
right.
week after, but this year
you went up the day of.
The second night of the competition.
That would have been so funny if you were drawing yourself.
Samson asked me, did you want to go up? And I had no time to think about it, so it was kind of good because I didn't have any idea. I didn't have a set list planned, but it worked. I got up there and did like 4 minutes, and it was a lot of fun.
You were vibing. That's what it was, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. There's an open mic after this at the City Hope, I want to say, and the Tenderloin. and I was kind of like drawn to it because it was Helen Cho or Chu. I'm gonna mess that up.
Margaret Cho? Wait,
No,
hold on. Helen Chu.
Chu, yeah. And I think you asked her about the mic too in the Tenderloin out on Olive Street. I was thinking about hitting that up, but honestly, yeah, I know what you mean about losing steam, Colin, when you mentioned that. Because right now I'm like, all I can think about is eating food after this.
Oh man.
Like I need some nourishment to replenish my energy.
Oh.
But anyways, we're so distracted. Like, what's going on here? What are you guys doing? They're passing notes
Oh,
back and forth to each other.
so when I made
No problem.
the popping noise with my mouth,
Uh-huh.
I cut my mouth wide open.
Oh, no.
And started bleeding everywhere.
Oh gosh, what is it with both of y'all?
Today's
That's where
fucking
you
today's
went.
cursed.
And so I'm like, okay,
No.
so I just cut my mouth a little bit, and I look inside, and there's literally a big old piece of skin hanging down, and it was
Wow.
bleeding everywhere.
So you need a manicure? Is that what it is
Oh,
called?
I just had to rip a piece of skin out of my
Oh
mouth.
my word.
Oh.
Yeah, no, at the
Today's
beginning,
And it's hurting.
Colin is bleeding, and he's like, "Oh, it's okay," and I was like,
Fucking hell.
"Yeah."
Is it a
What's
full,
today's
is it a full,
date?
Yeah,
What's
it's
Nea's
Friday
born?
the 13th.
No, it's the 14th.
Oh.
May,
Oh, it's the 13th plus one, so that's...
May 14th.
Yeah.
What happened on this day historically? Like in this battle, like what battle happened here 100 years ago? Some ghost is haunting us.
Well, and I'll never
No.
usually drink, and I'm about to have this beer because the inside of my mouth hurts
Yeah,
like
well,
shit.
do you have a bottle opener? Because that's why
I
he
do.
cut himself open.
I do.
Yeah, I
on
was
the-
using a screwdriver.
Oh my gosh, that's
Are you
an
kidding me?
inexperienced screwdriver opening. Yeah, that's not because if you know what you're doing with a screwdriver to open it,
I
okay,
mean,
good.
I was gentle. It was the
Yeah.
cap that cut me.
Oh, okay.
Well,
And
we should have a PSA on how to open a beer bottle with a key
wi-
and not get cut.
I've seen it done with lighters, but then I've only seen it done.
Oh
never
yeah,
seen
how to
it
have a
myself.
lighter blow up in your face. Let me see that one.
I knew another trick where you use the bottle to open the other bottle, but I'm gonna
that's
fuck
not-
it up,
that's
and
not
they're both
good
gonna.
either.
Yeah.
It's a
None of these
recipe.
are good.
A lot of drunk people just can't wait, puncture it, and they're like,
Oh.
Yeah, I've also seen them where they just rip the bottle cap off with their teeth.
Oh
but
my
you know,
God.
Yeah.
I'm just
So-
thinking today that's not a good thing for me.
Was it a Animal House where they just like he smashes the bottle
Oh
and
my
drinks
God.
Oh
it?
yeah.
Well, my
Yeah.
favorite is where they shotgun it, a can.
Oh,
Like
you know,
the-
the first time I saw that was at a first birthday.
Oh my god!
That's a pretty hardcore
Yeah,
kid.
see, I draw out all kinds of different events, and you never know what's gonna happen.
So to shotgun a can, all you have to do is puncture it, right? And then it splashes out.
Yeah, so it's like the
Exactly,
pressure
yeah.
is from
And then
opening
they
it
kind of
secondary.
put it
Oh, so you're
Yeah.
supposed to
Because
puncture
just puncturing
it.
it won't.
The
it'll
difference
just
with the
sit, right?
kid's birthday party, it was actually a juice box.
So you puncture it and then you pop the top.
Yeah,
So
'cause I think
need
that's
to
what flushes
practice
it.
And no, I'm not going to make the pop sound effect again.
I'll be the interim popper.
Dude, you know,
God.
at this age, at the raw age of 45, now when I drink soda or beer, anything that has carbonation, it gives me gas.
Oh yeah, come on.
Guaranteed.
Yeah,
I mean, it's got to come out one way or another, burp
Oh,
or
jeez.
fart, but
better out than in.
I'm just saying now
Oh,
I'm like
boy.
limited on my carbonation intake.
What is the difference? Or what is it when you cross a burp with a fart?
Uh,
A rap.
It's
Oh.
a Bart.
Yeah,
It
I know.
smells
I
like
took
fart.
it over here.
Yeah, it smells like a burp and a fart.
It's-
Actually, the trains are pretty clean right now because they just retired the old ones.
Every time I literally was going to get a ticket for drinking a seltzer water in a can, like a bubbly.
Oh,
The guy was going to give me, he goes, I can give you a $300 ticket. I go, really? Look over at that guy. And the guy was passed out. Had like, he looked like he had stolen a box of Haagen-Dazs ice cream bars and ate half of them and the other part were melting.
oh,
He
boy.
passed out with both of his bare
you wanna
feet
talk
out
about
on the
my
window.
drink?
And he wants to, and he goes, yeah, but I'm not going to go wake him up. And I'm like,
Yeah.
You're You're
I
awake
don't wanna
and look
wake
like you
him
might even
up.
pay the fine.
Oh my
Oh, boy.
gosh. So, Bart, you know, it feels safe at some point, but you should not close your eyes, I think, like to get comfortable because there was one day that I just had acupuncture and I closed my eyes because I was like, I got 20 minutes before we get across to Oakland.
Mhm.
But when I opened my eyes, the things that I saw, I was like, I'm never doing that again. I'm just saying, because like people lock in and make eye contact. I didn't even know we were making eye contact till I opened my eyes.
Oh boy.
Yeah, like clear across the train, and I'm like, okay, yeah. I guess people like staring at you while you're closing your eyes.
Eye contact is a strange thing. Doing caricatures. No, most of the time people will try to avoid eye contact, or a lot of times. But then every once in a while, you get somebody that like they're staring a hole right through you, and that gets really. It's like the opening music. It's kind of eerie.
That was hella funny. So back in Texas, they screw and chop a lot of songs where they slow it down, like chop, 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 like mix it up. But this time it was just screwed or slowed down. It was just slowed down for, I guess, the sake of Houston rap. I don't know. Have you ever heard Houston rap?
No, I haven't.
I don't know. I've never heard Houston rap, but I've heard his brother.
Have you?
Know him? I produced him.
Have you ever heard of screw rap?
I know drill. Actually, know drill. Like that's not a joke.
So what they do,
know.
but drill. Okay, screw is where they actually slow it down to. Okay, you know how like the records go down to a 45. Yeah, he'd play it like a big record on 45, and then it would be like the screwed, slowed edition. And I think his DJ Screw was his name, so that's what it ended up being called. But anyways, why am I talking about this? This was my.
I've been to Houston once. I went in 1996.
It was a different time back then.
It was for a caricature convention.
Damn, you were drawing.
It was actually.
Now
that reminds me. I was drawn at an 8th grade graduation one time, and this kid goes, "How long have you been drawing for?" And I go, 13 years. And he goes, "That's all my life."
That's all my
life.
life.
It just sounded like an ancient amount of time.
Gosh. Poor Colin. He was a guest a few last week, and every time we made reference to like experience in life, and we're like, he's all of 25, because
I just want to say you went to Houston in 1996. I was born 2 years later.
Right.
Oh.
But I mean, like the excitement is being that age and learning about everything. I'm sorry, it's gonna be hard. That's all I'm gonna say.
It wouldn't be fun if it was easy.
Right? There you go. It's all a perspective thing too. So like, you can either enjoy the shit you're going through or not. Just go through it, right? So let me change the topic before I start talking about my divorce.
Before you change it, I'd just like to say, for stress in life and all that, I really do live by, don't sweat the petty things and don't pet the sweaty things.
I'm old enough that I pet that sweaty thing.
I know. I was going to say sometimes you can't help it.
Or smell it before you use it. No, I'm just kidding.
This has just been a PSA.
I didn't know what else to add to that. I'm like, what the fuck?
Where's the disclaimer?
Since we're going for senses, anyways, I'm still hungry. That has not changed. I told myself I was gonna eat, but then I ate it splattered a little on my dress, and I was done. I was like, nope, I'm done with this food. Fucking food. Splatter on me. It was so good though.
What'd you have?
It was like Momo noodles from the new place by the IKEA near the food court.
Oh yeah.
So it's like vegan. I think there is vegan, I think, but it's so delicious. It just splatters all over.
I like that disclaimer. It was vegan, but it was delicious.
Disclaimer.
Well, because they're like, what protein do you want? And it's listed as barbacoa, but it also says smoked mushrooms to mimic barbacoa, I guess.
That's what I don't like about vegans. They're always like, it's not like, you know what? Don't eat meat. Go for it. But don't try to like fool me.
Yeah, don't call it barbacoa if it's not going to be barbacoa. Call it smoked mushrooms.
That sounds great.
Yeah, I know. But barbacoa is hella fatty. It's so greasy.
Oh, yeah. You mean the real stuff?
Yeah, the real stuff. My mouth is watering just talking about it. Oh my gosh. So
is your mouth watering from barbacoa?
3:28. We have 30 minutes. It's all about you.
So
Big Al.
I'll be drawing on Sunday. I draw caricatures for a living, and comedy is kind of a passion right now. But I'll be drawing Sunday at a Walk for Hearing in Alameda at Crown Beach from 9 to noon.
9 to noon. Okay, so do you come with a tent, or are you just out?
No,
under
no,
the
no.
sun?
I'm. Well, they have a tent for me.
Okay,
I'm usually hired talent.
He's the
At these
talent.
so you're
events.
actually covered.
So
like,
they actually
care
have
for it.
something for me. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
He even gets a
wow.
rider. He gets like literally
Well,
the water,
no, I
or a
should
bag
have
of
that.
M&Ms
I
or
think
whatever
that's
he gets.
One time we
amazing.
were drawn at City Hall, and one of the artists flipped out because they didn't have food for us. But it was a 4-hour gig, and so the next time we did that event, they did have food for us before.
I will say that being hangry is a real thing. So before the show, I was like, I should do them a favor and eat before I get all cranky, because I do get cranky. I'm sorry, Paul. Colin, you don't know me that well.
My
No, I
friend
could-
gave me some bread. If you'd like a piece of bread.
No, I'm gonna get down on some noodles once I get a bib. I gotta just.
Once I
prepare
got a bib.
Yeah, because it was so it's garlic noodles and the oils in it. My mouth is so watery, but I just want to cover my dress and like eat it messily, but covered.
Every time I eat like barbecue, I just want to like put my head in a like big hefty bag and poke my arms out the side
Yeah,
and literally just go at
You
it
should
because
do
it's
it.
like sex.
you should do
It's
it.
like
Get it
sex.
all over you.
You can't be clinical with it. You gotta wear it.
And if you're my age, barbecue sauce can be used as lube.
Your wife is.
Oh, boy.
I'm just letting you know.
Your wife
I
is
used to be the
back home like-
freaky guy that had the mirror above his bed. Now I have it above my kitchen table. I love food.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you,
Oh
Rodney,
my
for that one.
gosh. Your wife is like, I can see him doing this, or have you
man.
done it before? Because that sounds really awesome to get a big black, like, what is that? A landscaping bag? Those big, durable, heavy.
Well,
Oh,
she
yeah.
gets into the act too. She gets into the act. She actually gives me a light towards the end of sex when to wrap things up. I have an applause sign over the edge of my bed. You don't believe me?
3 minutes, sir. You're 1 minute
Oh,
light.
And then you hear, oh, thank you, good night. Colin doesn't want to work here anymore.
This will be my resignation letter.
Where do I file the
Oh, dear.
Sexual
No.
harassment.
You know, going to a bar often, I will notice that a lot of people talk about sex a lot. Like, I'm not saying that it's inappropriate, but I mean, it's just like, why did that come up?
What's the only other place they talk about sex more than a bar?
Church.
Thank you.
How not to do
That's
it.
what I'm saying.
How not, don't.
Because God's a freak. I'm just telling you,
They're just
God's
edging
a
you in
freak.
those pews,
Oh,
just reading
boy.
that dirty book. Just, oh yeah, and they don't do this now.
Yeah.
So I
Don't
actually,
be thinking that.
I went to a Catholic university for college, and one of the courses was Testament, the Old Testament, and the nun, the sister who taught, was like, "Look, sex is not a bad act. It happens. It's an act of love. It's from God when you do it right." Because when you do it wrong,
Oh.
you're going to hell. But no, that was funny because I needed a nun to tell me that sex was okay.
Every time I hear about that, I always think of the old joke, what is the only meat that a priest can eat on Good Friday? None.
None.
Oh,
That's so much better than Little Boy. I was like, oh my God, where's this going?
Well, don't worry, Colin. If you need more room to write down your HR stuff, there's more on the back of the paper.
Oh, the worst HR places are the grocery store. I used to hear
Oh my God.
the people that were working in the aisles, they'd be saying all kinds of inappropriate things.
In front of customers.
Exactly.
Like, wow. Okay, the first time I rode the bus, I used to think that bus drivers were professional
Mm-hmm.
and like normal. Until I saw a bus driver who was off duty but get on the bus and talking to another bus driver, and the shit he was saying.
I live across from one of the stations near Target, and they're like, I'm on the 4th floor. I'm kind of away from it, and it's like they're talking right next to me. Like, how you doing? Like just all that, like just the dirtiest shit back and forth. They're like, fuck. Like I at first I think everyone's fighting, and then I look up and it's like, oh no, they're talking. Okay.
Excitedly. Yeah, I tend to flail around when I get excited too. And it's like, are you fighting? No.
Oh, no, sorry.
It's just gravity testing it out. Oh, there I go again. I mean, actually, last time you were hitting it, so I was like, I figured I would test that out. Like it is within range. It's easy.
Oh
to
yeah,
hit.
we got it. Yeah,
But that's perfect. So I know it gets to that point where it's like, what do we talk about?
Oh, I mean, we could talk about anything.
Not food. Not food.
No,
Okay,
that'll be 30 minutes
no more
later.
food. But wait, let me tell you one more food story.
Yes.
I was hired to do this wedding, and they said, can you take an hour out and we'll feed you?
Okay.
So I said, fine.
Okay,
You know what they fed
if you
me?
must.
What did they feed you?
Here we go. It's this big wedding
Uh-huh.
at One Henry Adams, I think, down there,
Sounds fancy.
and so it comes time for me to eat, and they give me this box lunch
Oh.
with a dry sandwich, an apple, and some chips.
Why did they give
And
you
so
an hour
wait,
off so you wouldn't?
so I wouldn't be charging them. So I go to the back and I sit down outside, and I'm watching them plate lobster,
No.
filet mignon, potatoes, and it's like an episode of one of those Gordon Ramsay shows. The
Oh
guy
my
is just yelling at them
God.
to plate the food correctly.
For serving you that box lunch, I hope they got divorced.
Oh my God. It's not hard to get divorced, I'm saying. Though.
Oh,
Like,
man.
damn. I would.
I've worked in some kitchens where I've had pans thrown at me. Like that's just how
Yeah.
it is. Yeah, they'll.
Well, when there's food involved and you're hungry, I'm not saying that, but the chefs oh my gosh. Are you guys eating back there, or are you guys just like cooking and moving? Everything's probably fast paced, huh?
That's the thing too. It's like it's one thing to cook for yourself, but when it's like the biggest venue I ever did was 500,
Uh-huh.
and that was like a steakhouse. And the bullshit was it wasn't that like there was a big kitchen, great to work in, but I was the midnight cook. So at like 11, everyone left, and I'm the only guy there. And they're like, "Don't worry, we reduced we reduced the menu, so you're not doing the full thing.
Yeah.
It's just like burgers and fries." But it's like if 500 people order burgers and fries,
Right.
You're making.
it doesn't matter how small or big the menu is. Like I'm just one man.
They're just saying, well, nobody comes in after 11, or nobody comes in after so many hours.
But it's like we're like downtown. It's like
the drunks.
right by the.
That's where all the drunks go after.
Where the Canadians played, the Montreal Canadiens. So it's like hockey fans and like,
Okay.
concerts and shit. Like,
Oh, sports drunks.
yeah.
Even more intense.
When Kiss played, that was really cool. Like everyone dressed up. That was fun.
Nice.
I love when people get involved in like Comic Cons,
Oh yeah.
drawing character. Okay, so I wanted to ask, do you draw food? Because I asked.
Do
you
I
if you
draw
pet-
food?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? Sometimes I'll draw bell peppers,
Nice.
and it's just like drawing the figure.
I-
It is. It is. It's like the sinuous lines of the.
of the curvatures.
That sounds a little weird, doesn't it?
Of the curvatures.
Are you
of the-
fucking vegetables?
No.
I have a passion for. bell peppers.
Oh boy,
I can no, but sometimes a bell pepper has a nice like.
they do.
They got
They
something.
do. They've got some nice curves to them.
makes you sweat a bit.
I wonder what you feel about Coca-Cola glasses. No, but so
Oh.
Coca-Cola bottles are not even the same anymore. Coca-Cola bottles are not what they
Oh.
used to be. They used to be sexy.
Now, if
too.
you beat your kids with them, they just shatter instantly. They're not the hard ones like you used to get.
No. So I remember when bottles were not plastic, were glass. Like
Yeah.
the old timey, and they had the styrofoam kind of labels. Like when you peeled it, it was like styrofoam.
Oh, I know which one you're
Yeah,
talking
like
about.
Pepsi
Yeah.
and Coke back in those
Sprite.
days.
Yeah.
Yeah. When they were like less than $1.
Oh, don't even get me thinking about like the McDonald's dollar menu when
Is
you
there
could
one?
you could live like
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
a king on like $5.
So do they still have a dollar menu? But,
Fuck no.
oh yeah, I didn't think so. Cause like
Yeah, and
even
Taco
at
Bell
Dollar
has
Tree-
$59.79.99 still.
Do you remember that? I remember that.
Oh.
I would get so like
so-
full on 59-cent tacos. It just had it just had lettuce and cheese in it.
We called it a wish
Like
taco.
a
There was
little
a
meat.
wish you had a real taco.
Yeah. Wish I had 10 more cents to buy the real one.
So who knows who Puxatawny Phil is?
I do.
Are we
Yeah.
saying it?
Sure.
The gopher.
The gopher.
Mole?
No.
What is he?
No, he's a groundhog.
There
Oh
you
yeah.
go.
Okay.
Did he
what?
die?
Yeah.
No, he didn't die.
Or how many are there though?
It's like
Yeah.
fucking.
I thought this
It's
was
gotta
a
be
comedy
a-
show.
It's
Hold
got to be a
on.
generational
Did you see how I just
thing
went
though.
straight
There's
to-
got to have been more than one Puxatawny.
I know there was
Well,
one that like.
yeah,
fit
so
in
here's
there.
the funny thing is, there must be, right? Because it's been for
Yeah, it's been
decades,
forever.
right?
don't
And
live
I don't
that
know
long.
how long a groundhog. I was going to say
Yeah,
a
my
beaver.
wife and I
Fever.
we saw
My beaver, I've trapped for 22 years. Love you, honey.
my wife and I saw Groundhog Day the week it came out, I think.
So this one is actually Puxatawny Phyllis because it's a girl.
Oh,
The
okay.
damn liberals.
And so here's the thing. Apparently, Phyllis got knocked up.
What?
Oh boy.
Right. And had 2 babies, a boy and a girl.
Little Tawny pups.
Do you think Phyllis
And
predicted the weather wrong because she was pregnant?
Maybe. But here's the other thing.
So do they
is,
have her-
What
their
would
names?
be the name of your children if you were Puxatawny Phyllis?
What would it be?
Well, she named him very apropos.
Wait, I
Let's
don't think
see.
very apropos. I doubt she named
Sorry,
them.
I'm a cultured individual. I use popping sounds and slice open my mouth.
Oh my gosh. No, okay, so I don't have an
lifted.
accent, but apparently I have an accent. I kick in an accent, so sometimes anyways, I don't
Like
know where
from
that
Texas or?
No, I don't know where it came from. It's just like sometimes I like how words sound a different way, so I say it that way. Especially when I'm singing karaoke.
Oh hell yeah. No, yeah, no, it's a confidence thing. Like
Like wanting to say the word how you want to say it, right?
exactly. I actually knew this one guy, and the entire time I knew him, he's like a Western guy. I was at a hostel in Colorado, and we're just having a real deep conversation on a balcony, whatever, getting high as hell. And then out of nowhere, he's just like, "Oh, by the way, I'm from Jersey over here." Like he just completely like just he's like. So when I just started talking like this one day, but I'm actually like it's like complete fucking tonal
Yeah.
shift. Broke my fucking brain. They're like, you could just do that. You could just talk however you want.
Because if I start singing some Tina Turner, I could sound like Tina Turner. There you go.
Okay.
Even with the Tina Turner legs. Anyways, I don't know what that sounds like, but
Oh.
yeah.
Accents, that's crazy.
I'm honestly running out of brain matter right now because
Yeah.
I'm so hungry.
So do
Your
you
brain's consuming
you
itself.
use a lot of music in your act or in your comedy or?
When I'm drowning, I'm like, oh
Exactly.
God, they are not feeling me. You know what? I'm like, I'm
Right.
Filipino. And I thought this was karaoke. And then I'll bring out I'll bring up my middle school song or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's out of desperation, really. Do you ever bring up drawing? I'm just saying, like,
You know, I have been trying to incorporate it in, but I bring up singing just as much as drawing
Yeah.
because I kind of sing too a little bit once in a while.
You
But
don't
I
bring
don't
an
know.
instrument.
Sometimes I don't sing, but
Mhm.
sometimes I do. Like for a while, I laid off of it, but then you know, like today, this afternoon, when I got off BART,
Mhm.
this lady hands me this thing, and it was about AI, but I read it as Al,
Owl, uh-huh.
and it says,
Hey.
"Will Al kill someone?"
Wow. You're like,
And I'm
Will
like,
This
Al?
is very specific.
this is triggering. So then I go over to the Civic Center, and I thought I'd just rest against the fence.
Uh-huh.
And this lady comes up, and she's like, "I'm sorry, sir, you have to move away from the playground."
You don't have any kids here.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So everywhere I went today, then I'm standing out there.
Fucking hell, man. Today is cursed.
And this guy comes up, and he asks me, "Eres..." Hold on.
Was it in a different
Wait,
language?
let me see. It was in a different language. What did he say now? Hold on. Let me see here real quick.
That's hilarious.
In the meantime,
Yeah.
for drawing on stage, you should do like something like Andy Kaufman. Like just your whole 5 minutes, you just be like, I'm a caricaturist. I'm gonna draw the audience for my set, and it's gonna be funny. And you just like you have it. They can't see it. And
Yeah.
at the very end, you just don't do anything.
You turn it around, it looks like the courtroom that Donald Trump's sitting in.
Oh yeah.
So you've seen Andy Kaufman's comedy?
I know bits and pieces. I know he did the ice cream thing. I know Jim Carrey was like obsessed with him.
Oh yeah.
I don't think
I was
Andy
gonna
Kaufman.
I haven't seen that movie.
So you've seen Man on the Moon? or Man
I haven't
on the
Yeah,
Moon.
Man on
I
the
saw
Moon.
the
And then there's a
making of-
documentary of it too.
Yeah, because that's the good thing. Because Jim Carrey's a fucking psychopath.
Yeah.
Well, we all are, but yeah, I'm like no, okay, let me take that back. You're right. He's a psychopath, very genius when it comes to innovating comedy, and in a psychopathic manner, I guess, like very aggressively.
Wait, Carrey or Kaufman?
Oh, both.
Mm.
Jim Carrey.
Have you seen
and-
his Carrey's first
Wasn't that like?
Tonight Show set?
No.
It's really cool. He's doing impressions, but most of them are physical. He's not even really using his voice. He's using his mannerisms.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
No,
It's a really cool thing.
So yeah, no, he's very intricate. I mean, like every time I see him, I'm like, what is he gonna do? Because he's not outlandish, but very outspoken.
Oh, well, I guess the best the showcase of Jim Carrey was look at The Mask 1 compared to The Mask 2 when they had not
Jamie Kennedy.
was Jamie Kennedy, and he's like he's a funny guy in quotes, but he doesn't have the energy Carrey has, and people think Jim Carrey, oh, he's funny, he'll be good, whatever, but it's like it's his mannerisms, it's his body, his energy. Same with like Robin Williams, like he has that coked up speed, and fucking Kennedy was just like, hey, it's like fuck off, like.
So wait, Jamie Kennedy did the second Mask?
Yeah, and it was fucking
okay.
trash because there's no like. When he put the mask on, he wasn't any more animated than when he was just a guy.
Okay.
Oh, just the same.
Yeah, he's just still like a Paul Rudd kind of guy.
I think
They're all the same to me. All those people.
a lot of the times when people have that character that they're consistent with it, it doesn't come hard to them. You know, like being crazy. I'm like, I'm crazy all the time, so I look normal. It's just consistent.
Oh boy.
I can't remember if I asked, but you're not a veteran, are you?
No, I'm not.
Okay. I know the other Big Al was a veteran, and that kind of caught me off guard, and I accidentally called the Marine soldier or Army reference.
I heard what you said.
But you know what's so funny? Everybody, my mom, my son, I was in the Air Force. They all say I was in the Army, and I'm like, it's not the same. If it was the same, it'd be called the same thing.
Yeah.
But I totally didn't mean to do that. Marines are different though. They're very Marines.
Could you say military as a blanket term, or is that still even that's not?
Armed services?
Armed service. Yeah, military is a blanket term. Yeah.
But I mean, caricature is an armed service.
That's a good one.
I'm loaded with markers.
Do you have a bag full of like colors, or what do you do? How do you bring it?
I normally
know it's a bag full of
I'll
colors.
normally use a Sharpie,
Oh, so
and
you
then
just,
I'll color it in with like a charcoal.
because I've also seen you come with your iPad,
Yeah.
and you
Yeah,
the
I do
iPad
use
is
the
so
iPad.
cool because
Yeah.
it just seems like it makes it look easier. But honestly,
It's
I've tried it. It's
not really easier.
Yeah.
It's just different.
Do you have a Wacom at home?
No, I don't. But you know, this is the
Pads.
strange thing that back in 2000, before I had a computer, I went to the Macworld show, and I bought a Wacom. It's Wacom, actually.
Oh, fuck, yeah.
But that's fine.
Wacom, yeah.
But I bought the Wacom tablet before I bought a computer. So the next week
to
I
hold
got
on?
the next week I got a computer.
Okay.
But I bought the tablet first. I was walking
Yeah,
around.
because you have to have a computer.
It was a
too.
Thursday.
screen,
Yes,
yeah.
you do. And then too, they didn't have the Wacoms that were fully contained. They do now. Some
Oh,
of them.
because back then you had to plug
Yeah, you had to
in
plug it
and-
into a computer
Oh,
to
fucking
work
hell.
it. So
Was it a chunkier beast too? Or?
no, it was
They're
about
always pretty- because they're pretty sleek now.
it was about that big, and it was about that thin. It wasn't too big.
Oh, okay.
And you know, eventually the mouse died on the computer, and I was using the pen.
Oh hell yeah! No, yeah. I know people that play like video games with that shit. Like,
Oh, because
But,
it's so precise.
But yeah, so I saw a friend of mine. I wasn't even going to go back the next day, so I went on the Thursday just to check it out. I had a free ticket,
hell yeah.
and my buddy from high school, he's all Alan. That's my given name.
That's your government name.
And I'm like, yeah. And it was this guy, Dan Colon. And Dan's like, you should come back with me tomorrow. I've got an extra ticket. And so I came back to the show on the Friday, and I walked around, and I saw Rhoda Draws, who I had talked about earlier. She was there, and I asked her about the Wacom tablet. And she said, yeah, you should get one of those. Because she was already doing digital caricatures back in 2000.
Okay, so yeah, that's
Or even before that.
technology totally like switched it up.
Yeah.
Was she using MS Paint? Like,
Oh my god.
No, she was using
Microsoft
Painter, actually.
Paint.
Yeah.
Like,
fucking
no, that's what you mean.
She even
MS
wrote
Paint,
some
Microsoft
books
Paint.
on Painter.
I remember
Yeah.
Paint, the itself when the computers were green, and then you opened the Paint and it was like pixelated.
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
When we used to play Oregon Trail on our computers for extra credit.
Yeah.
But did y'all grow? No, I know you didn't grow up. You grew up in the East
I
Bay.
grew up in Livermore, yeah.
In Livermore.
Yeah.
I have trouble. Okay, so Livermore is East Bay.
Yeah.
It's just outside of Oakland.
Well, no, it's about half an hour or
Past
maybe a
Oakland?
little more, yeah.
Oh wow, I have no. I don't.
I live in
understand
Brentwood
geography.
now, which is 20 minutes east
That's right,
of Livermore.
I'm stuck on Livermore because that's the one I.
Yeah, no, that's fine because I was there for a long time and I still go there. I've taken a comedy workshop in Livermore. The same building, this rec center, used to be the rec center in Livermore. And I learned this stuff called GIMP, which is this chords that you twist and you make little keychains
Yeah, I
and
know.
stuff.
GIMP's fun as fuck.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah,
weaving, but like it's like a plasticky kind of.
Yeah, exactly.
keychains.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
funky colors and stuff.
We
Yeah.
did that in science camp.
And then I did some dance there, some Mexican heritage
Oh, wow.
dance, cultural stuff. My parents, they were members of this organization called the LOB, Lazy Old Beaners. And,
What am I laughing at? Oh my god!
no, it's a Latin organization for betterment. But I can't find anything about it.
Wait, hold on. But
It's
that's the
weird.
actual name.
No,
It was the LOB, yeah.
No,
The
but
Latin
that's the
Organization
nickname.
for Betterment.
Oh, Betterment,
Is the
okay.
actual
Because
the
you
actual
said-
name
I
of the
was
organization.
like, oh my god, what am I laughing at? Dude, I'm learning this at open mics. You can't get too excited too fast. You gotta let them finish their joke because sometimes at the
Yeah.
end of the joke, it's like, wait, what? What did I just agree to? That's not my style.
Oh.
No, but okay, that's.
Yeah, so I was taking Mexican hat dance lessons there, and then I did some color pencil drawing there, and I've done figure drawing there in that same location for years. So when I took a comedy workshop there, I wasn't sure if I was supposed to get naked or write jokes.
Both.
Well, now in I know I want to say like New York or LA, they have naked stand up and shit like that, like competitions where you have to like literally like you're buck naked.
Well,
wow.
you know, there's a guy, Marty Cooney, who was in the Bay Area. He's in New York now. But I remember seeing some photographs of him, and I think that
That's
he would
what-
do some places here in San Francisco like that.
Oh fucking hell.
Yeah.
It sounds,
I don't know
it's
where
a fun
they are,
gimmick, but yeah.
Okay, so living in the South of Market toward like where people walk towards Folsom a lot, during like Folsom Fair, for instance,
Mhm.
A lot of leather and straps, and
Yeah.
that's the attire, nothing else. So they might as well be naked because they're just kind of being held together by a strap.
That reminds me of drawing. Drawing leads to adventure a lot of times.
Oh,
And so I was drawing at a thing at 111 Minna. It's this art gallery that's on Minna Street.
Okay.
It's kind of over by the MoMA.
Okay.
And this one time I'm drawing there, and I see this lady, and she looks familiar. And I flipped through my sketchbook, and I had drawn her before at another event. She was at this event called One Night Stand, and she had gotten up there as just a guest of the event. But she was there topless, and I actually showed her in my sketchbook that I had a topless drawing of her. And she ended up buying it.
Oh hell yeah.
At least she's consistent.
hell yeah.
Well, yeah, why not? It
Oh.
was a good drawing, I guess, right?
I guess so. She enjoyed it. Gave me $25 for it. So
I'm gonna start doing that. I drew you naked. Give me money.
well, it's
So
weird.
here, but in contrast, I would have paid you $50 if you just would have gave it to me, not hers, but mine, because I wouldn't want it out there in the wild,
Exactly.
right?
Maybe that's
So,
why she
there
took it.
you
I don't
go.
know.
I know where your creepy little mind was going.
I'm like, can I also have one of these drawings? I'll pay you
Oh.
$25 for her.
Oh my goodness. Okay, yeah, we're wrapping this up because I believe like 10 minutes ago you said it was 5. Oh,
It was 15 minutes ago.
Got about 8
about 10 minutes. Yeah, we have about
7,
8 minutes left.
do you
No
have
problem.
upcoming shows?
I don't have any upcoming comedy shows.
Just
I've just been doing
events?
open mics here and there. Usually in Livermore, there's a couple out there. At our place on Mondays, and at the Good Time Tavern on Tuesday nights.
Are you up
They
for
have a pretty
hire
good
for
thing.
events? I mean, like if
I
somebody
am,
wanted
yeah,
to hire you
yeah.
to do both, like comedy and drawing.
Yeah, I did get somebody referencing comedy, but I haven't been hot. Well, actually, I was only a few months in when I actually did a paid comedy gig.
Oh,
Okay.
hell
This
yeah.
guy, I started on Clubhouse,
Mhm.
which is an app, and it was during the pandemic. And so in 21, I started doing on there. And then in 22, I had only went up March of 22 was when I first went up on stage
Uh-huh.
at the Alameda Comedy Club.
Oh wow.
And in September of that year, a guy from Clubhouse, he's like, Al, you want to do this show with me? We're doing this show. There's going to be 4 comedians. And he's like, well, can you do like 7 or 10 minutes? And I said, sure, I could probably do that. And then that week of the event, I emailed him because I had to map out the time for me to do an event like that. I need to know so that I had to pass by on some caricature gigs. But he the week of the event, I email him or I text him, whatever. And I said, Rev, what's the deal? What's the lineup like? And he sends me back the program,
Mhm.
and everybody's doing 20 minutes.
Oh, so you were expecting that?
And I had only been doing it from March until September.
How did you do?
So I did okay.
Yeah,
It was fun.
here's the
It was a
thing.
lot of
You
fun.
did it. You did it.
It was outside,
Mhm.
and it was in Lodi.
Lodi. Oh wow, leaving
yeah.
Lodi. Okay. Oh, wait, I'm
And
so
it was
sorry.
a lot of fun.
I just had a Lodi. I'm thinking Lodabar. But anyways, I just had a flashback about, like you were talking about, 111 Minna
Yeah.
art galleries. Okay, so growing up on 11th in the area, on the corner of 11th and Howard, there's this great big building that used to show art. And I used to think like it was a big art gallery, but really what it was is it was a center for special needs.
Mm.
But I was this kid that's like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to go in that art gallery one day. So
Yeah.
as it turns out, I have some special needs as well.
You truly deserve to be there.
Yeah, I truly deserve to be there because as I grew up, I was like, oh, yeah, I want to draw some art that I want to raise up there still to this day.
All right.
But anyways, I was like, that took a lot because once you said 111 Minna, I was like, wait, there's an art
Yeah.
gallery that I thought was around the corner. And I was like, nope, that's not an art gallery. That's a center
Yeah.
for special needs. But yeah, I do believe I have special needs. It's just I haven't been diagnosed. And
Oh, we've diagnosed them. We know what they are.
it's called Afternoons with JomaMa. All right, so
All
that's
right.
good. This is our 5 minutes. I think we did it.
Yeah, we're getting damn close. If you want to, you
So
can
yeah,
call
you
it.
can
I
find
am
me
so ready.
at BigAlArt_ or BigAlArt.com. Yeah, and I am hired for events all over the place.
That's amazing. He'll draw your kids.
And then is the Mint comedy takeover next week?
No, that's actually in 2 Tuesdays. Mint comedy. So it's this time. It's the Mint Karaoke Lounge presents comedy.
Oh,
That's it. Just
that's it.
comedy. Yeah.
Not 3 comedians walk into a bar, talk to a bartender, see
Yeah.
if they can get a tab.
At the
Okay, it's not that
beginning-
one. Okay.
But the one thing I have been consistent about is that it's pronounced the Mint Karaoke Lounge because you can't just call it the Mint.
Now, is that on Market?
That's on 1942 Market Street.
Okay.
And it's one of the karaoke lounges that I love so much that I'm like, you must try it. I got a job there
Oh, hell yeah.
That was one
You
of
know
those.
why it's called the Mint?
because it's by the Mint.
There you go.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought the building's green.
Well, no.
it tastes like mint.
Chocolate chip. No, but it's very historical. So yes, hopefully one.
I've drawn there before.
Oh, that's amazing. That's great. I love that everybody has such rich history and knowing each other. Paul knowing Big Al and meeting Big Al and Big Al.
Yeah.
because you guys didn't even know you knew each other, but he
No.
tagged you.
We've all been touched by Tony too.
Yeah, there
Tony
you
gave me
go.
great advice one time.
Tony Sparks is an incredible mentor. But the funny thing was how he remembered when I was like, we took a picture, somebody flashed the camera, and he was like, yeah, I remember that night.
Yeah.
So, all right. Thank you so much for coming on to my show.
Thank
I
you.
know my fist bump hand sucks. It's like, I gotta practice this other hand. But thank you. So,
See you next week.
see you next week.
All right.